Well, hello, hello. Thanks for hanging out with me for more than just a couple minutes. It may take me a few minutes to get through this. We wanted to just give you an update on the summer. In many ways, summer is already here through the temperatures outdoors, but as schools are completing their academic year, travel begins, and we will be shifting gears in our families and in our communal life here at St. Paul's. And we wanted to give you a heads up about some things that to inform you of and some things to remind you about. Beginning this Sunday, we begin a new season in the life of our church as Pentecost Sunday is upon us. The historic Sunday where every year we are reminded of the gift of the Holy Spirit. How many, many moons ago, as the disciples and apostles were some scared, some excited, some hopeful, and honestly, probably some with fleeting hope, were gifted this beautiful, mysterious presence that Jesus himself promised to them. We hear the story, and we'll hear it again this Sunday, about the tongues of fire and those that were hearing the gospel proclaimed in their native tongue, and just this beautiful expression of what many call the birth of the church, when the church was birthed. And so many call this Sunday the birthday of the church, and rightfully so, it fits. But it also reminds us of this beautiful responsibility and mysterious presence that God gifts us to be God's children, to be more empowered, to be more impassioned, to be provoked, to move away from our own struggles, and to move away from all the many things that want to make us apathetic, that want to make us stationary and less engaged in our own life, and especially in the building of the kingdom. So come and hear the story again as we begin a new sermon series this summer, moving through the book of Acts. And so Pentecost is a great time to start that, of course, because the story of Pentecost takes place in the book of Acts, and we're going to use that as a launching point to walk through the book of Acts together. Most all of our sermons this summer will be based in the book of Acts. We want you to be engaged in that process. So I am strongly encouraging all of you, not just those that may think that they have time, but all of us, to make time to commit to reading through the book of Acts this summer. It is an easier read because it's got a lot of history, and it's got a lot of stories and a lot of narratives, and it's got some dramatic tension points. It's got all the makings of great stories. And those stories tell us something. They don't just tell us about things that happened, but about why they happened and about the emphasis behind them. And it leaves us with lots of interesting questions to ponder, ideas to bring forth, to apply to our own lives, and to think about what it means for us to be the church, not just in the present, but in the future. And so we titled this summer sermon series, if you want to call it that, Ancient Future. Because we want to ask the question, what does the early church, the ancient church, have to say to the future church? And so as many of you have gotten to know me, you understand probably pretty clearly by now, if you've been around, I care deeply about the church. I wouldn't be here if I didn't. But one of the things I care very deeply about is us building a better church for the future than perhaps that had been built for us, or perhaps that we are dealing with today. And so I love the book of Acts in the way that it exposes us to certain ideals and very intent values that we find in the stories, and how, if we're honest, we've somewhat lost some of them. We've ignored them, or we've maybe even muted them. And so we're going to re-explore some of those themes and concepts of the early church, and ask, what does that mean for a church that we hope to build, that we hope to embody now, so that it can be even better and more healthy and more vital in the future. So I pray you'll do that. I pray you'll read through the book of Acts. All of us, regardless of your time commitment, would you make the time to read through the book of Acts this summer? I also want to encourage you to get a companion reader guide. You'll see further down in this email I've listed the name of that resource. I actually have my own copy here. Let me grab it. It is by a wonderful, brilliant theologian, N.T. Wright. And he is a brilliant man, but I draw your attention here because this is what helps me. It's called N.T. Wright for Everyone. And so these Bible study guides are really a great resource. And this one on the book of Acts, I would encourage you to get. It gives you some step-by-step instructions on when you're reading these stories, some questions to ask of yourself. And so this will be an additional resource because we are going to open up an opportunity this summer, what I would call a drop-in Bible study. Drop-in meaning you don't really have to RSVP and let me know you're coming. You don't even have to commit to being at every meeting that we're going to have any of these drop-in Bible studies. We want you to come if you're available. We're going to meet 4 times over the summer. You'll see the dates down in this email. We'll meet twice in the month of June, once in July, and once in August. And we will take big chunks of the book of Acts and talk about some of the major themes. And I pray that you will come. You'll see the information about those drop-in Bible study dates in this email as well. Other things just to remind you of for the summer. As you know, Vacation Bible School is just a matter of a few weeks away. If you committed to bringing in some supplies to help us with that, I pray that you've already returned those. If you haven't returned those, please do that in the coming days. That way we can take stock of all those supplies to make sure we're ready for a wonderful week with close to 100 children from our community that will be with us in Vacation Bible School this year. And also, I draw your attention, there is a full-on summer schedule for our youth ministry. We're going to have several events. And so you'll see the dates there. If you have any questions about that, please reach out to me. And if you want to be added, or you know someone that would like to be added to the communication stream for our youth ministry, please let me know. I'll make sure to add their information and make sure they're informed of all the wonderful things. All right. So I'm excited about the summer. I pray that you are as well. Please make an effort to stay connected. I know that many of us will be taking some time away for Sabbath and for rest and to spend some time with our families and vacation and traveling to see folks. But we're going to be here. And so please stay connected to us, and please take advantage of these wonderful opportunities to grow in our faith as we read through the book of Acts and ask some really important and vital questions about what it means to be church in 2023. All right? Well, I've taken up over 7 minutes for your time. Thank you so much for hanging out. And if you have any questions, please let us know. And we can't wait for a wonderful summer together.